Welcome back, everyone out there, to the dark side of Machinima. This is the third and final part where I am relaying stories of the 6.5 years that I was a Machinima partner. There were ups, there were downs. We've been through a lot of those, and now in this final hour, we're essentially going to cover some of the final years that I was a partner and some of the weird stuff that went down in my personal life, professional life, and the interactions with Machinima that led to eventually the termination of my contract with them. So let's do it, shall we? All right, so first of all, where we left off was that in, as you can see, 2013, all right? A lot of things were going weird. And one of the weird initiatives that Machinima did, oh, you're right, I skipped a shot. I got to take a shot of whiskey, everyone, because someone did a big contribution. I'll do this while I talk, okay? One of the big initiatives that Machinima did was they wanted to launch an app. Now, I never understood what on earth or why on earth they would want to have an app, all right? When you think an app, you think it's because it serves a purpose. This app is supposed to be something specific, you know. And, by the way, that's a whole shot, just so everybody knows. This is a double shot glass. I always say that. I like how it looks, though. All right? So, anyway, basically, Machinima wanted to do an app. Now, what the app was supposed to do was supposed to be on the Xbox 360. So not only did they only want to do an app, they only wanted to do it on the Xbox 360. They didn't want to have it on, like, a mobile device. They didn't want to have it, you know what I mean, on TV. Just Xbox 360. That's it. That definitely confused me. What's the purpose of having an app just on the console? How many people realistically were using apps on their Xbox 360? I mean, back then, today it's more common. On your game console, you might have Netflix or you might have Disney Plus. Back then, it wasn't. It wasn't as commonplace. So, you know, 10 years ago, they want to do this app. And they selected me to be one of the people who they wanted to promote the app. And they said they were going to give me, like, some money, but not really. What they wanted to do is they wanted to give me a piece of swag as a way of saying thanks for promoting the app. And they wanted to put my stuff on the app. So they wanted to prominently feature my gameplay on this Xbox 360 app. So the idea was you boot up your Xbox 360, okay? And there's an app that says Machinima. You click on it, and all the top Machinima partners are on there by category by their name, and you can find their latest content and find all their content on there, all right? In premise, this sounds good to me. So they say they're going to send me a Machinima-branded Xbox 360 to show off in my videos while I advertise this app, okay? So that's a little bit of the details there, like when's it coming and stuff like that. Oh, here we go. So I was told, here we are, the app was scheduled to launch April 30th, all right, 2013. We'd like to get a video up on your channel on that date. We'll send you this custom Xbox, so it'll arrive by the week of the 22nd to be safe. We really need a video telling your audience about the app, and then it goes live, and to download it and check it out, and then to check out the video or two that you created exclusively for the Xbox. I'll have more details on that soon. So yeah, what they had wanted me to do was do a gameplay video or two that was going to be just for the Xbox app. And they were going to put it just on that app so my fans would have a reason to go to the app to check out these exclusive videos and use the app. Does that make any sense? You're already watching everyone's videos on YouTube, on the PC. At that point, YouTube had launched like an app for your phone. Why do you need a Machinima-specific app to watch content of people who are under the Machinima umbrella? It just doesn't make sense, does it? The whole thing was convoluted. And like I said, they didn't offer to pay me anything to advertise the app. What they said is they were going to give me this piece of swag, and they were going to highlight my videos on the app, okay? So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to take a shot of this. Very good. Thank you, Dan the Man, for your support. That was very good. Then, I'm going to show you what they sent me. And then I'm going to show you what happened with this app. Or I'm going to tell you what happened with the app, which is absolutely laughable. Are you ready for this? So here is the Machinima Xbox 360. I still have it in its original box, unused. Never used the thing once. Just kept it in the box for 10 years. And I did unbox this once. And then I did also show you again last year when I cluttered my closet. But here it is. You ready for this? And it is the later model Xbox 360, by the way. Look at that nice logo on it with gears and stuff on it. Look at that. It's pretty cool, huh? On the other side, Machinima says right there. Sleek. Here's the back. It looks nice today. It would have been nice if I had like a really great quality camera like this 10 years ago. I didn't. My camera sucked ass. But now it looks pretty good, right? And then here on the front, it says Machinima on the disk drive. See that? And this is the later model Xbox 360, by the way. This is the older one, okay? Also, if I can find it, it came with a custom controller. Now, the controller does not say Machinima, but it has this coating on it. It's a little weird. It's a little, it's fine. Like, it didn't come off. But it does feel kind of like a custom paint job, almost. And you can tell this is a custom-made controller that they probably sent to some company to rebuild and put this stuff on. It doesn't say Machinima anywhere on it. Alright? It's just kind of, you know, the standard controller, just it's red and it actually shines a little. It has the sheen to it. Right? Okay. So, they send me this, you know, Xbox. I did show it. I remember showing it in a video. Alright? And the app launches. And I remember at launch, they said, could you make some videos exclusively for this app? Alright, which I did. I think I had made 1 or 2 videos that I told them, hey, you know, upload them just to the app. That's all these are for. I don't remember what gameplay it was. I have no recollection whatsoever what the gameplay was that I made, okay? And so the app goes live, and I advertise it. People start going over to it. Immediately, people start contacting me with complaints. They're like, Phil, are you aware that the app barely works? That when you boot it up, it doesn't really show many or any videos. For example, I wanted to watch your latest playthrough. Your latest playthrough's not even on there. That only very select videos, for some odd reason, are showing on the app. Like, for example, on this app, it's supposed to be just Machinima partner videos. But you open the app, you can't even search for, like, DSP Gaming, I don't know, Uncharted 3 playthrough. You can't even do that. There was no properly functioning search. If you did it, it didn't work. Everything came up like empty, no results. Apparently, the way the app worked was Machinima had to specifically put videos from your channel into the app for them to show up in search. So basically, the vast majority of your content could not be found on the app. There was no point in having an app where 90% of your content could never be located or found. Why would you ever use the app? So, they tell me to advertise it. They tell me to put content exclusively on it. They send me a special Xbox to promote it. I do all of the above. They launch the app. The app doesn't work right, and no one likes it. No one used it. Basically, the app was one of their biggest failures they ever did. And it was hilarious because they were really pushing and touting it. They were really, oh, the Machinima app, it's going to change everything. All our partners are going to be on there. They're going to be found. You know, no one else has an app. You tell me Full Screen has an app? Do you think Maker Studios has an app? No, because they weren't stupid. They didn't think that they needed an app. You know what I mean? So, I probably have the one of these anywhere on the world. Do you think anyone else has this? Like, who got these? I mean, really think about it. How many Machinima partners probably received this console? Not many, right? Maybe like 10, 20, 30, maybe 50? I don't even know. How many Machinima partners advertise the Machinima app? Maybe if you did a search for Machinima app videos on YouTube, you'd see some pop up. But how many people actually did it? How many people still have this completely pristine, intact, not used, right? I never booted it once. It's all right here. I think the hard drive's here too. I'm pretty sure this has a hard drive. Well, that's the power adapter. Maybe it doesn't have a hard drive. I think it might just be the console. I don't think it came with a hard drive, actually. Oh, wait. This is the one that has the internal hard drive, right? It's not external anymore. These are the ones that have the internal hard drive. So, yeah, it's probably with it. Yeah. So, there you go. Definitely a remnant of the past of a company that doesn't exist. Who on earth is ever going to ask for a Machinima Xbox? Probably no one ever. Like, who cares, right? Because the company's defunct. But, hey, it's something I have, a collectible, forever, right? Interesting. All right, now, a couple quick shout-outs, and then we're going to get into the contentious dramatic stories and the finale. All right? So, I received a $5 tip from someone saying, great stream, are you worried about retaliation? Retaliation of what? Machinima doesn't exist. They completely went out of business. You understand? They got bought out by Time Warner. Time Warner got bought out by Disney. Not Disney, AT&T. AT&T liquidated everything. They deleted all the videos and all the assets and laid off all the employees. The company isn't even registered. They don't exist. What retaliation exactly would happen? Exactly, you know. And by the way, what have I even done in this video that would warrant retaliation? Like, I'm just stating facts of things that happen, right? So I swear some people are ridiculous. Anyway, thank you for the tip. $5 tip there. Okay. And Broly did a second super chat, says chaperone, not chaperone. Yes, it's spelled with that way, but it's pronounced the same, so I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, thanks for the super chat. Okay. So now we're heading into the final stories that I have about Machinima, okay? And basically, this is where things start to fall apart a bit. I always had continued payment issues. I'm going to skip through some of this stuff that's not as important, all right? But basically, the first signs of trouble started in late 2013 when all of a sudden YouTube launched the Content ID match system for all channels. And here's the very weird thing about all of that, okay? YouTube launches Content ID in late 2013. What is Content ID? It's a system by which your videos are matched to copywritten content, and if it matches, it's auto-matched by an algorithm, and that content is attributed to somebody else, and someone else gets advertisement rights on your content. So essentially, you're making money on a video, someone claims it for Content ID, you lose all money on it forever, okay? It's bad, especially for someone like me who has, at this point, probably 30, 40,000 videos on the internet, if not more at this point. And I'm like, every hour, I'm probably getting 12 to 20 videos claimed every hour for like a week straight. So you do the math, it's like thousands upon thousands of my videos are getting Content ID claimed, and I'm losing the rights to all these videos. So I contact Machinima about it, and Machinima's like, we have to look into this. We didn't know anything about this. Then within like a day, Machinima sends out this email. So, hi Machinima partners. We're going to make some of you managed partners and some of you not. Managed partners means that you're a big enough YouTuber that we trust you in your content and we need you in our network, so we're going to protect you from Content ID moving forward. However, any videos that were previously caught by Content ID will be claimed forever, and there's no way you can ever fix those videos. So if it was a big video that you were getting tons of views on and making money, you'll never make money on that video ever again, and there's no way to appeal it. I'm serious. This is what we were told. At this time, what happened, because this change happened overnight in December 2013, big YouTubers like the Rad Brad were absolutely freaking out because all of their videos were getting claimed. And I basically started trying to help everybody by explaining the situation, because I figured it out before anybody else. And I started giving them all instructions on how to fix this on Twitter. I started posting up on Twitter stuff like, hey, so if you just happen to have your video Content ID matched, you can try to edit out the music that got matched, and maybe you'll get the advertisement rights back to your video. Here's how you do that. Because back then, this was a decade ago, this was a relatively new thing. No one knew how to do it. I figured out how to do it, and I went out and posted this up, and all these big YouTubers started reading my tweets to figure out how to try to save their videos. The Rad Brad personally thanked me for trying to help him because, you know, he was confused at how his videos were getting claimed too. It was just a shit show at the time. But here's my question. How did Machinima not know this was coming? They're supposed to be one of the major networks working with YouTube on a daily basis on everything. They didn't know that Content ID matches were coming? They were never told? This literally could have ruined people's businesses if they weren't aware of it. How were they not told that it was coming, right? And this whole thing with managed versus affiliate partner status, right? This was, if they could have done this all along, you know, why wasn't it done ahead of time? Why did they only have to do this after the fact that Content ID went live? Why didn't they make their bigger partners managed partners first? So it was kind of like the first time where I saw something weird going on with Machinima. Like, why were they not ready? Why were they not being professional? This is just a big mess, and it could have led to a lot of problems. Luckily for me, they did make me a managed partner, although it was absolutely funny. So they made me a managed partner, right? And then I ended up getting an email. I think this is it right here. Oh yeah, here it is. So I get an email months later. This email you're seeing here is from, like, I want to say like March or April 2014. Okay? Someone emails me, they're like, hey, I want to make you a managed partner. I was like, I've been a managed partner since December. Like, I'm already a managed partner with you guys for like 4 or 5 months. Why are you sending me an email to make me a managed partner? And then he responded back and he's like, oh, sorry about that. Totally didn't realize you're already there. If you need anything, let me know. And then the guy never emailed me ever again. I'm serious. This is also some weird times. So here's a weird thing that happened during this time frame. Someone who was supposed to be a part of the development team contacts me out of the blue. Someone I've literally never heard of this person before. They contact me, they say, I want to have a phone call with you, or a Skype call with you about the development of your channel. Okay, let's have the call. I don't have any documents for this because this was a phone call or a Skype call. So they call me up, and they're, all right, so how's your channel doing? You know, what do you like about YouTube? What are your strategies? And then they say the weirdest question. They go, so, what are you planning to do in a few years from now, you know, when all this is gone? I was like, huh? What do you mean? They go, well, you know that YouTube isn't going to last forever. Like, you know that this is just kind of a thing for that we're all riding a wave temporarily. What are you going to do when the whole YouTube thing dries up? What are your plans? And I was like, I was so taken aback when they asked me that question. I was like, your company, that your sole existence is on YouTube. If you weren't on YouTube right now, you wouldn't exist. You're telling me that you think YouTube is going to end, or that this whole YouTube thing is a fad that will not last, and you're actually asking me, one of your biggest partners, what I want to do when YouTube is over. Is that not a bizarre question to be asked by Machinima, your partner network? And I was like, huh? What? I didn't get it. I didn't get where they were coming from or what their angle was on that. And basically, like, we had a conversation, and the guy kind of talked me into saying that I wanted to be, he's like, well, what are you into? I was like, well, you know, obviously I play a variety of games. He goes, yeah, but what did you do before this? I was like, well, I had a bunch of crap jobs, but also I was a competitive Street Fighter player. And he goes, oh, competitive Street Fighter. He goes, so Street Fighter now has been big ever since Street Fighter 4. You know what you could do? You could be an esports commentator, because you got the personality for it, and you've got the knowledge of Street Fighter. You could be an esports I was like, I don't want to be an esports commentator. What's this guy talking about? But, like, he basically wanted an answer. And I'm like, I don't know. So I said, yeah, sure. Esports sounds good. An esports commentator. Yeah. And, like, where did that come from? That's what I mean. Like, it seems to be like Machinima was always all over the place with all this shit. For example, E3 2012 was the Hawken year. The next year I contact Machinima 2013. Hey, can I go to E3 this year? No, we're not doing anything this year. Oh, okay. And literally they never offered ever again to let their partners go to E3. If they wanted to go to E3, you had to just contact E3 yourself or try to find a way to become press or whatever to get in. Like, after 2012, they never got you into E3 ever again. It was so weird that they would have these initiatives that made that, oh, they're so gung-ho, they're exciting. And then all of a sudden they would abandon the initiative completely as if it never existed. It made no sense at all. Then they're calling you to ask you, what do you want to do when YouTube is over? Huh? Why should I be thinking about that now? I'm supposed to be, you know, focusing on being a big YouTube partner and, you know, growing my brand, my channel. Why would I want to say what I want to do when it's over? Like, what are you even talking about? Right? It was the weirdest behavior from this company. Okay. So anyway, that was the whole the content ID debacle. All right. I can just tell you something really quick without having to show you an email. I know what next email I actually want to show you, which is hilarious. You're going to like this one. At one point, it was 2014, and I just moved out here to Washington State. Previously, I'd lived in Connecticut on the East Coast of the United States, but I'd moved out here to Washington State. This is the West Coast. This is a different, state entirely. And also, there's a PAX out here, Penny Arcade Expo. It's one of the biggest gaming conventions in the country, okay? So I move out here, and I start getting emails about West Coast events from Machinima out of nowhere. Now, I hadn't told them that I was attending any events or anything. I ended up getting an email from someone who's like, hey, so I totally want to meet you, and let's have a big sit-down and a meeting at PAX this weekend, because it was that weekend was PAX. Let's have a sit-down and talk all about your channel and the future and development and all kinds of stuff. And I go, who are you? And when did I say I was going to PAX? How do you even get into PAX? It's the weekend before PAX. Like, how would I even get into PAX at this point? I'm sure the tickets have been sold out for 100 years, right? Like, what are you talking about? And the person emails me back, oh, I just assumed because you lived in Washington that you just go to PAX. Well, I have a bunch of passes. Do you want to go this weekend? And I was like, I can't. You can't just tell me like 2 days ahead of time you want to meet me at PAX and I have to drop my whole weekend of plans and, to meet you at PAX. Like, what are you talking about? Like, again, this is how disorganized this company was, that they would do weird stuff like this out of nowhere, and everyone would be scratching their head like, what? Like, you want to meet me at PAX, but what are you talking? You didn't even tell me about this. I can't drop my whole life now, my plans and everything, just to go meet you at PAX when I didn't even know that I could go or you wanted to meet me. Like, what are you speaking of? It's confusing behavior. Shout out to Joel's Random Videos, who became a channel member. Thank you very much, Joel's Random Videos, for the membership. I appreciate that very much. We're out to 107. If you want to support the streams, guys, one way you could do it is by becoming a member. Great opportunity to do so. We'll be by the end of this event. And you'll be actually be able to nominate videos for my weekly DSP versus the Internet Clip Show. Something to think about if you've enjoyed today's content, okay? Okay. But now what I really want to talk about is this. In April, wow. In January 2015, I get a mysterious email from someone at Machinima. Strange message. Hey, Phil, we got this message sent to us today. Hi, I'm a big fan of a Machinima partner named DSP Gaming on YouTube. Unfortunately, people are uploading his content with hateful comments edited into his content on their channel. The videos are called This Is How You Don't Play. Basically, these hater vids are costing you ad revenue. Any insight into this, we can get this taken down if it's true. As you can see, I never said a word to Machinima about This Is How You Don't Play. They reached out to me, okay? What was the initial reaction? Read that. We can get this taken down if it's true. Now, I don't have all the emails that we ever talked about because I believe we actually had a phone call about this, okay? But what I can tell you is this. Machinima became very aggressive when it came to This Is How You Don't Play. Over a course of like 6 to 8 months in 2015, Machinima took it upon themselves to basically research This Is How You Don't Play and try to take down the videos in any way, shape, or form that they could. Okay? I was not involved. I didn't want to be involved. My initial reaction, which sadly I don't have, was, yeah, they're basically haters of mine, and they're making malicious videos. I don't see essentially what you could really do about it, right? And, unless you want to sue them into oblivion, you can't do that, right? So they said they had clout. And what they were going to do is they were going to go to YouTube and they were going to get the videos taken down for copyright. Because technically, they owned the videos that were being used in This Is How You Don't Play because I was under their partner network and they had the rights to my videos. So they owned the videos and they could claim them on copyright grounds. What they then proceeded to do was claim people's This Is How You Don't Play videos without my permission or knowledge. All right? Then I started getting messages from my viewers and fans, Phil, why are you taking down people's This Is How You Don't Play videos? And I said, I'm not. Like, what are you talking about? That's not me. I'm not taking down anyone's videos. I guess some of them were actually showing up in my name. And I was like, I'm not doing anything in that regard. Okay? So apparently what happened was Machinima started trying to take down videos, didn't even tell me that they were doing it. All right? Which is kind of fucked up when you really think about it, because, you know, it's my content and they're doing this essentially kind of in my name and I don't know about it. So then what ended up happening was the detractors who had made This Is How You Don't Play just appealed all the strikes. All right? So within like 2 weeks of all those videos getting taken down by Machinima, they all went back up anyway. So Machinima wrote me again to talk to me about it. And they're like, well, what we want to do now is, instead of doing takedowns, because we're not going to sue them all, we're not going to do lawsuits against them, we actually just want to claim their videos, and therefore they won't make any money on them, we will. All right? Okay. So I actually do have this email. This is an email that they sent to me in April of 2015. As you can see, this is 4 months later after the initial email they sent to me. Hey, what's this? This is how you don't play. We didn't know what it was. Okay? So do you see what we have here? These are videos that were This Is How You Don't Plays, that in the name of DSP Gaming, they copyright struck, but then they got reinstated because the people who uploaded them just disputed the claims. So then they claimed them for Content ID instead. You see? So this is what they did. And this was a big mess. Because first you had my haters complaining that I was hitting people with strikes when I wasn't. Then you had my haters claiming that claiming a video. I didn't do any of this. And by the way, for the record, I should say this. I didn't receive any money for this. Like, they told me they were going to claim these people's videos and pay me for it. I don't know where I ever received any payment for it. To my knowledge, I never saw any breakdown. Oh, this is the money that these guys' videos is making, and therefore you're making ad revenue on their videos. Not once did I see this. These videos didn't show up in any of my feeds or any of my reports or anything that I was provided by Machinima. So I was never made aware of any money that I ever made on any of these videos whatsoever. So it sounds to me like they didn't know what they were doing. They panicked when they heard about This Is How You Don't Play, and they didn't know how to handle it, and they botched it twice. First, they copyright struck them, realized that wasn't going to stick. They weren't going to slap lawsuits against these people. So then they just decided to claim them for Content ID instead. And I don't even know if that did anything. Maybe they kept money. I don't know, because I don't know if they ever made any money on them. I was never told, nor kept in the loop of the whole situation of This Is How You Don't Play. All right? So that's that. Let's see. What's the next one? What's the next weird one? Okay. The entire fake strikes debacle of 2015. Okay? Let me see here. So, this is August 2015, when DSP Gaming had been hit with numerous fake strikes because basically this guy, this YouTuber, had been making intros and content for my streams and had given me outright express permission to use the content. I had it in writing, in email, and on my videos, okay? So there you go. So here we go. Here's a troll. I'm just getting rid of this idiotic troll. Anyway. I told them about this, that someone basically had set me up. For almost a year, they had given me this content that said it was okay to use in my videos, and now they were trying to strike me with false strikes, even though I had the explicit permission to use this content. And that if this continued, that it was going to ruin my channels, right? So I'm trying to find where they respond. Now, see, that's my response. See, sadly, I don't think I have any of their responses because they basically called me on all of this. Yeah, it sucks. I don't really... See, this is a story that I wish that I had more. All I have are things from my side. Like, for example, here's me emailing Machinima to tell them that all I did... I was sick, by the way. That all I had done was spent an entire day, you know, sitting around deleting videos per their instructions, right? So basically I was in a situation where sadly I didn't know what to do. I was getting tons of false strikes against all my content, and Machinima called YouTube, had a meeting with YouTube. Then they called me and told me on the phone, you need to delete all your videos, because if you don't, there's no protections on YouTube from video strikes that are already in the pipeline. Even if they're false, they're still going to hit your channel and they're going to shut you down. So I spent literally 24 hours at my computer deleting every single video that had ever used fan art, every single video that had an intro, every single video that someone could basically falsely claim. All the gameplay videos were fine, but all those pre-stream rolls and things that I had done that had anything on it that was like, you know, a slide that was drawn or whatever, all was at risk. So I had to go back and delete all of those videos for an entire day, and this is one of the things that absolutely destroyed my channel. And sadly, apparently according to Machinima, YouTube would do absolutely nothing to help me. In fact, this is the last email I even have on it here. Is from October of 2015, where I was still getting some false copyright strikes against my channel, and I was still being told essentially the same thing. There's nothing you can do about it. All you can do is dispute false strikes, and you have to delete videos, and that's it. So in 2015, because I had to delete over 600 videos, I lost millions upon millions of views. It tanked my channel. It kicked DSP Gaming out of the YouTube algorithm, and my channel never recovered. So every fall, I used to get a big increase in views for the fall games because YouTube said, oh, so many views are lost on this channel. There's something wrong with this channel. They kicked it out of the algorithm. No one could find DSP Gaming for new games again. And therefore, I lost all of my prominence and all of my search, you know, prominence on YouTube. And I lost ridiculous amounts of views within that year. 2015, by far, was the year where my channel went from, well, kind of plateau to, woo, into the toilet because of that. I really wish Machinima would have helped me better in that, but I don't know if they even could have, because to this day, YouTube tells you exactly the same thing. That is one that YouTube has never changed their tune on, okay? So, this is one that people never believed me on, but I have the receipts for it. In 2015, December 2015 to be exact, so this is now about almost 5 years that I've been a partner with Machinima. Machinima finally had bled enough money. They could no longer do flat rate contracts. Okay? Flat rate contracts were a thing of the past. And in December, they renegotiated my contract so that basically now I was going to be making money based on how many ads were actually made on my channel, the ad revenue, rather than a flat rate. Remember, previously it was get paid $2 for 1,000 views. And then Machinima pockets all ad revenue. Well, the ad revenue had tanked enough on YouTube. $2 for 1,000 views was more than what anything was making. So they ended up changing it to this. But I told you guys they did this for me, and you guys didn't believe me. We would like to offer your channel 100% revenue share for the remainder of the current contract term. By switching to this model, you will receive everything your channel earns on YouTube. So they offered me 100% revenue share, meaning I made everything. They made nothing. Literally, Machinima made absolutely nothing for keeping me in the network. But if that doesn't scream desperation, that's December 2015, okay? What's weird is Machinima's attitude changing towards me within 1 year of this happening, all right? Which you're going to see because we're getting into that right now. But how wild is it, right? That they were so desperate to retain partners, right? That they actually offered me to make 100% of my ad revenue, and they kept nothing. So they literally benefited nothing from having me as a partner. What was the point? It's weird, no? But they were bleeding. They were in pain. They were losing all their partners at this point. And a lot of people over the years said, Phil, you know, there was all these controversies with Machinima. One of the controversies was essentially that people wanted out of their contracts and wouldn't get them out of their contracts, right? Another issue was that, you know, you could just leave Machinima and just be a partner by yourself and it's almost the same. Well, with me, I was under the managed partnership by Machinima, so I was protected from content ID matches. So for me, there was a benefit to stay with Machinima. For most people, there wasn't. But for me, to stay with Machinima, I was getting a flat rate contract. I was in a managed partnership. I had all these privileges other YouTubers weren't getting by staying with Machinima. That's why I stayed with them for so long. But then in 2015, they shifted me from the flat rate over to this different contract. So now here's one of the reasons I'm with them has been removed. Okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for. You ready for this? Fast forward to May 2016. Hey, Phil. We were made aware of a live stream that occurred a couple days ago. We're working with our legal, marketing, and YouTube contracts to help mitigate the backlash from this situation. Here's where we stand. As strange as it may sound, we need a copy of the video to create a reference file so that we can now create an archive and block any future uploads of it. Okay? We're just trying to stem the tide from this and help out to help us help you situation. By the way, this is the first time anyone at Machinima contacted me about it. There was no talk, no call before this. This is literally them emailing me out of the blue. Okay? Also, since this is now on legal's desk, is there anything else that we should know about the situation? This is a situation we don't want to get any more involved in than we have to. But if there's part of the story that we don't know, and we might not be able to help you if there was something, if there was something we were in the dark about, okay? I think what they're alluding to is they're asking, was it staged or was it fake? That's what I think they're asking, okay? So here's my response. First off, no, there's nothing that you need to know about that you don't already know. As everyone is pretty much saying, it was an innocent mistake, which is why the backlash about it wasn't actually much backlash, but more like anyone just laughing at the situation. Okay? Admittedly, I can't stop laughing about it. It's hilarious, right? In fact, the original uploaders of the stream, who recorded it live, illegally of course, because they record everything that I do in case something like this happens, have gotten hundreds of thousands of views, but are angry because it really hasn't negatively affected me at all. In fact, just the opposite, because I laughed at the situation. I didn't overreact negatively. I actually gained 1,500 Twitter followers, hundreds of new subscribers, and people are actually, and it cuts off there. Well, let's see here. Here we go. People are actually talking positively about me, so the idea that making this public would hurt me is completely backfired against them. I actually don't have any video file to stream because I didn't record the entire thing. I only record segments of gameplay to upload to YouTube. However, YouTube auto-archived it here as an unlisted video. So basically, I sent them the archived stream because this is what they wanted. But if you notice, I didn't tell them to do anything. In fact, I wonder if there's a third part. There is a third part. Ready? I'm not sure if you'd be able to see it or not, as I never really messed with stream archives before. Outside of that, the only other copies of the illegal recordings that were made at the time. However, I'm not entirely sure that any legal action should really be taken. You can't see anything that violates YouTube's terms of service in the video out there, and it's just people making innocent and funny memes about it. I'm totally cool with it, and in my opinion, I don't think that anything really needs to take place any further. I got a small popularity boost for acting cool about it, or reacting cool about it. It'll blow over soon. In fact, today I'm seeing far less Twitter activity about it, and already I predict within a couple of weeks, outside of an odd meme here or there, no one will really care. In light of all of this, let me know what you think. Thanks. And quite frankly, that was the end of it. Like, I have no idea if Machinima ever did anything about it. They reached out to me telling me they wanted to have their legal team take down anyone who posted it up. All right? I told them, no, don't do that. Just let it be, because it seems like it's all fine. If I didn't say that, they might have gone crazy trying to take down people's videos like they had done with This Is How You Don't Play the year before. So I'm honestly glad that I interjected and intervened, because I didn't want them going crazy and get, legal team is involved. Legal team? For what? Who cares? To me, that's always my attitude. Who cares? It's stupid. It's dumb. But people want to fucking make it out to be some big event that it wasn't. It was just a dumb thing. Nobody gives two shits who has a brain. The people who still talk about that are brain dead, mouth drooling idiots. People who fucking are so dumb, right? So insanely dumb that they don't even understand that it's just an innocent thing that happened that's very embarrassing but very stupid, and it's not a big deal. I don't care. Okay? The last thing to talk about, this is the finale. Ladies and gentlemen, how did things end with Machinima? Well, I'll tell you how things ended with Machinima. You ready for this? So, between the incident and early 2017, okay, a couple times I wanted to talk to some of my Machinima contacts. I had a desire to speak with them about various different issues. And I started sending out some emails. In fact, you saw Claire was one of the people who I had talked to previously. Claire. Sent her an email. Hey, how you doing? Haven't heard from you in like 6 to 8 months. I just hope you're doing all right. And touch base. What's going on? Are there any opportunities going on right now with games or whatever? Because at some points, Machinima would actually send me some games. Like there was actually this one time in, I want to say, what was it? 2016, 2014, 2015? One of those years, they sent me a list at the beginning of the year. Here's 40 games. Out of those games, are you going to play any of them? And I responded, yeah, I'm going to probably play these 15. And all of a sudden, I would randomly just get games in the mail. Sometimes it was so dumb because I would get a game in the mail 2 days after it came out, and I already bought it and already played it or was playing it, and I got an extra copy. What do I do with this now? I can't do anything with it. Sometimes they would send me, hey, do you want a game code? Well, the game came out last week. I'm already playing it. Oh, I guess not. I'll pass on the game code, right? That's the kind of stuff that would happen. They would just drop shit in your lap. Do you want it? No, actually, I don't. What am I going to do with this now, right? If they were more organized, if they were more professional, to let you know that a code was coming, a game was coming, then you'd actually be able to plan for it, and it would actually be beneficial to the streams. Instead, 9 times out of 10, it was a random drop. Like, I got a whole thing of Rock Band 4. It just showed up at my house. I didn't even say I wanted it. It just showed up at my house. So I ended up playing it once, but it was like, why is this here? I didn't ask for it. This is so weird. The one time ever where something nice really happened was Fallout 4. They contacted me ahead of time. They asked me, did I want it? Yes, I do. They actually offered to get me a copy a little early. I'd be able to play it 1 day early legally. I did so, and that was a blast. That really was a blast to be able to do it that was the one time ever wherever I played anything with like advanced street date or whatever. Out of anything, everything else was just normal dude buying games for himself because I didn't have anyone. I couldn't rely on Machinima to get me games. They didn't know what they were doing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to talk about how it all ended in 2017. Okay? Here we go. So, in 2017, something very odd happened in late January and early February. All right? Actually, I take it back. I think it was late February, early March. I got to find it, though, so hold on. So, well, here's what happened. Overnight, all of a sudden, everyone's ad revenue plummeted. Absolutely plummeted. Okay? It went from, what it was, because remember, I was getting paid 100% of ad revenue, to half of what it was. And this wasn't like a one-time thing. This was like, it was day 1, day 2, day 3. It was a persistent thing. It wasn't like a one-day fluke and then it shot back up to where it was supposed to be. It just died. Today, we know this occurrence as the YouTube adpocalypse. At the very same time, advertisers like Walmart, Starbucks, and major companies all pulled their ads from YouTube because they felt that, number one, YouTube was not appropriately targeting people where their ads would be effective, and number two, YouTube was inappropriately assigning their ads to videos that were not appropriate for ads. For example, an advertisement where someone the entire time is talking something racist, and now there's an ad for a Starbucks on it. Or, oh, look, here's an actual video of someone who's talking about they're a terrorist, and they wish that they could just bomb the Americans. And then, oh, here's what's on sale at Walmart. So after seeing stuff like that, these companies pulled their ads from YouTube. And overnight, videos became half as profitable as the night before. All right? Now, I apologize. I have to very briefly get up because the text on these emails I'm about to show you is not from emails. It's from a Zendesk situation where I was sending logs to Machinima. Why was I sending logs to Machinima? Because they laid off all of my contacts. Remember, I said all along when I was a partner with Machinima, I always had a direct line of contact to talk to about issues. Well, they laid all those people off. So I had no more contacts at Machinima at all. They told me that if I need help, go through a Zendesk log system, which was incredibly ineffective. I didn't effectively get answers in any timely manner. Usually my questions were not answered. They would just close the logs without answering them. It was a shit show. Okay? So what I need to do very briefly is go see, because I can't see them from here because it's literally like ant text. I just want to see some of these things and put up the right ones in order. So give me 1 second here. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. I see what all this is. Sorry, I had to skim through them all. And like I said, the text is literally like this. I can't even read it. It's so small. So I don't know if you guys, I recommend if you're watching this, watch it on demand after the fact. Pause a bit and read through, because the text is so tiny, it's very hard for even me to read. Okay? So, basically what happened was, when all of a sudden, all the ad revenue on YouTube was dramatically dipped for no good reason, I wrote a log to Machinima about it, and I received an initial response, okay, we'll look into it, all right? And then days and days passed, and this is talent support. This is where I would basically be writing, you know, I need your help. So you see, I did not hear from you today. I'm assuming it's because you have not heard back from YouTube. Here, I want you to understand the situation. A dip of more than 1/3 of my monthly income. It was almost half. I'd say it was like 40, 45% dip in income out of nowhere overnight. And by the way, that was the majority of my income. Unlike other YouTubers who maybe were doing live streaming with interactions like I do now. See all this down here at the bottom of my screen? None of that existed in 2017. I was just making ad revenue. That was it. That was all of my income. So if I'm not making ad revenue, I have no money to pay my bills. I'm going to lose everything. As you can see here, see what I'm saying? I'm freaking out in this message to them, because I'm like, I really don't know what to do, because, you know, there's no answer to this, and you didn't respond yet, so I'm like freaking out. Okay? So I'm just going to show you a series of responses, all right? And you can read through these, like I said, by pausing the video in full HD quality if you would like to read these. You don't have to read the full messages. But essentially, in summary, what Machinima tried to tell me, if you can believe it, all right, at first, was that they felt that it was my fault. That my engagement, or my view rate, was like 39%. Saying, you know, the videos you put out on YouTube, only 39% of them get watched. And you're not going to get good ads if only 39% of your videos get watched. Therefore, you should just up that. And one of the things they actually said, and I'll click on a few of these that you guys can read through if you want to at your own leisure, because I don't exactly know what each one specifically says. All right, I think we're arguing back and forth about this. That basically they're like, what you should do, listen to this, lower the length of your videos. Keep in mind, in 2013, YouTube changed the entire system to favor videos with longer watch times. So I changed my videos from 10-minute videos to 30-minute videos, and at one point, now I'm doing hour-long videos. Machinima says to me, the way to solve the adpocalypse is to pump out more videos of shorter time, so your engagement will go up and you'll automatically get more ads. Yes, I'm not kidding. I'll continue to click through here. This is actually what they told me in these logs. Okay? This one I freaked out, because this one now, the last time I had heard from them was the 23rd, is now the 27th. So 4 days had passed, and Machinima hadn't answered me at all. Meanwhile, I'm making less than half, or about half, of what I normally was before. I'm like, dude, if this is now a week going that I've told you about this event, if this continues, I'm going to go out of business. I'm literally going to go out of business because I can't afford to pay my bills if I'm making half as much money as I used to. Okay? So admittedly, I'm freaking out, and I'm trying to get answers from them, and I'm not getting any answers. They're not answering me. Essentially, what they keep saying is, hey, you should totally look into that whole, length of engagement, right? What you should definitely do is make shorter videos. This is what Machinima's telling me. I'm like, what? No, I'm literally making less than half of the amount of money that I was making overnight. Now for a week, I'm making less than, imagine if you're going to your job and you're working your regular 9 to 5. Nothing's changed about anything around you. And at the end of the week, your boss hands you a paycheck that's only 55% of what you made the week before. The week before, you made $200. This week, you made like $105. Huh? But I worked the same hours. I did the same work. What are you talking about? Well, oh well, we don't know what it is. Maybe try working different hours, or try to make it more efficient when you're at work. But what do you mean? How is that going to help? I'm still making way less money. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically what they were trying to do is beat around the bush. And eventually what you'll see here at some of these last, this is the one where it says refrain from contacting other departments. Oh, I got to tell you about this one. Okay, I got to tell you about this one. All right. So basically, here's the deal. When this is all going down, originally I'm just using the Zendesk as I'm instructed to. By the way, I'm going to get this stuff off because it's actually starting to bother me now. We're at the end of the event anyway. So basically, I'm told the only way you can get help from Machinima is to contact them via the Zendesk log system. Okay? So I am. And initially it took them over a day to respond to my initial request. Then they had no updates for me. Then they gave me an update and told me, well, our update is basically your videos are too long. Shorten your videos and put out more short videos to make more money. That's a solution according to them. Then they waited 4 more days and never responded to anything else. So I'm like, dude, it's been over a week. I'm going to go out of business. I'm going to lose my house unless they explain or figure out what's going on. So here's what I started doing. I started going outside of the realm of the Zendesk, and I started emailing former people who I knew at Machinima. I emailed the former head of the partner program. I emailed my former contacts who I had known from years prior who had helped me out with various issues like the copyright issue and stuff like that. I even emailed the guy who asked me about the incident. Okay? Here's what I received in response to every single email. We're sorry, these people no longer work for the company. If you want to speak, or if you need an urgent response, contact Steve like Sharapino or something like that. And they had his email. Now, I didn't know who Steve Sharapino was. Okay? So all I did is I took my original emails that I'd sent to my former contacts and I forwarded them all to the guy. And I said, hey, so I really don't know who you are, but I desperately need help right now. Everything's falling apart at the seams because I'm making half as much money as I was, and I'm not in a situation where I can afford that. Can I get some help? The next day, I get this log back from Machinima via Zendesk, and it says, please refrain from contacting other departments. Just talk to us here through Zendesk, right? Because despite the fact it's now been a week, they haven't helped me one bit. They haven't given me a single update or piece of useful information from YouTube of why my revenue has halved. And the answers they're telling me are shorten your videos to have more of them to make more ads. It's your fault that you make so little money on YouTube. That's essentially what they've said in all of these logs. So, what I can tell you is that my response was not very pretty. Essentially, my response, I'm going to tell you in a nutshell, because my response was very lengthy, and very animated, okay? I feel very disrespected. I feel like you're ignoring me. I've been one of your longest running partners. I've stayed with you through thick and thin. When everyone else was quitting your company for various different reasons, here I am 6.5 years later, I'm still with you. I've gone through multiple contract renegotiations. I never complained about any of them. I continued with you, and I feel like I'm getting the brush off. I have the ability to write anyone in the company who I want, who previously I have worked with, and I felt helpful. For you to tell me that I don't have the right to try to talk to someone in the company who I feel could help me when you're not helping me is incredibly disrespectful, and I feel like I'm being talked down to, and this is very unprofessional of you. And I even said, listen, I don't know who this Steve Sharapino person is or whatever. I have no clue, but that's who they told me to send the email to. Maybe this guy has a bug up his butt about me now because he's telling you me to not talk to him. But I don't know who this is, but he has no right to speak to me this way. And I even said, if you feel that this is how you're going to continue to deal with the partners like me, then I don't want to be a partner with you anymore. All right? I said, so think hard about how you want to respond to this and let me know what the hell's going on. And this is how they responded. Ready? Following our discussions, we have executed our right to terminate your contracts. There it is in writing. So basically, they had no answers for me. They wouldn't let me talk to anyone in the company who could help me. They gave me bad excuses of how to solve the problem. I tried to send emails to my former contacts. They scolded me for doing that. And then when I said, I don't think I want to be a partner with a company who's going to treat me that way, they cut me. They cut all my contracts. So there it is, in writing, okay? So, was I fired? Well, no, because to be fired, you need to be hired. I was never employed by Machinima. What it is they executed their right to end their partnership agreements with me based on the terms that they had laid out on those contracts. So, you know, why did they do that? I mean, do you want to know the truth? I know why now. I didn't know why back then. Because Steve Sharapino, wherever the fuck his name is, was the then CEO of Machinima. Yes, basically what had happened in 2016, Machinima was bleeding. They had no money. They were trying to find a way to sell the company off to the highest bidder, and at the time they were in talks with Time Warner. All right? They didn't care about partners anymore. This whole thing was a smokescreen. That's why I wasn't getting help or anything. They laid off almost all of their useful employees. Anyone who you would talk to in the company to help you didn't exist anymore. Idiotically, they had a response email that if you emailed anyone in the company who got laid off, to email the CEO. So I emailed the CEO a complaint that their company was bad and not giving me the service that I deserved after being a partner for 6.5 years. And he basically had a bug up his ass. Oh, fuck. Who's this asshole? And he told them to terminate my contracts. Yep. So, you know, the joke's on them, because what happened? The company sold. We now know, because I just watched the June the King documentary. All right? This company, Machinima, continued to bleed money. They had absolutely no guy. That CEO is a complete jackass asshole. He didn't know how to run the company. So he ran it right into the ground. They ended up selling the company to Time Warner for only just under $100 million. They were trying to value their company for over $150 million. And Time Warner said, you're not even worth $100 million. So they got bought out for under $100 million. Then Time Warner got bought out by AT&T, and AT&T liquidated Machinima. They fired everyone. They fired every employee, including the CEO. They're all gone. They just kicked them out the fucking door and said, fuck off. They deleted the channel. They deleted all the videos. They deleted everything in 2019. The entire company went defunct. Yep. So, yeah, pretty bad, right? I mean, 6 years of my life working with this company. They were the company that allowed me to monetize my gameplay videos on YouTube. They were the company that allowed me to make a living doing YouTube, which I never intended. I just stumbled upon it when I lost my job. But essentially, they fell apart at the seams. They were a company that one day they're treating you well. Here's a great contract. Here's a great promotions. Let's go to E3. Then you go to E3 and it's the most unprofessional shit show you've ever seen. You're like, I thought this was a major company. Millions upon millions of dollars. How is this how they're running? Everyone's late. No one's organized. They hand you a pass. You don't even know what the pass does or what it's for. I'm the only one who goes to E3 and actually covers E3. The rest of the partners all ran around like assholes partying and did absolutely no work, you know? Then, you know, years later, they take it upon themselves to try to do things that I don't want them to do. Like, oh, this is how you don't play is bad. Let's strike videos. Let's claim videos. I didn't do any of that. They did. Yet now I got to live with the fallout of that for the rest of my life because they did it in my name, essentially, right? What could I do about that? Nothing. I had no control over that, you know? Did they ever help me with copyright issues? They tried. They really couldn't. And if anything, I would say the one thing where they really were pretty good was essentially when they really did try to help me out. They really did try to help me out in regards to the copyright issues. But YouTube doesn't care. YouTube to this day still won't help you with copyright issues. YouTube's, you know, opinion is, listen, either file a lawsuit or get out of here. So maybe in that regards, they're innocent. But let me tell you, what a weird company. One day you have all these contacts who are willing to help you. The next day, those people don't work for the company. They're laid off. One day, hey, here's a list of games that I'm playing this year, and they start sending you the games. Next day, oh, we don't do that initiative anymore. That doesn't exist. Hey, I went to E3 last year. Can we go again this year? Oh, no, we're not doing that ever again. Huh? Like what happened here? It was just so weird, you know? And you would think that one day that, if they're treating me as a top partner the whole time or whatever, that if I have a real issue, they'd help me. And then instead, they just blew smoke up my butt and told me to make more videos or shorter videos, right? Like, yes, the solution to the YouTube adpocalypse, where everyone on YouTube is making half as much money, is to make more shorter videos and piss off my audience. That makes a lot of sense. Like, you know, but again, this is just a weird situation. Machinima is such a unique company that they started off, as I know now, because I watched the June the King documentary about them. You can watch that react right here on this channel. They're a company that never were supposed to be what they were. And then they didn't know who they were. They didn't have the identity. They had an identity crisis. You know, they wanted to be an MCN and bring in money from everyone out there. But then they wanted to promote themselves as like some kind of a broadcaster or a distributor of content, which they absolutely were not. But they pretended like they were to keep getting investor money. And every time that the money burnt out, it was panic mode again. So lay everyone off, cancel initiatives, all at the expense of the partners. And I now know that I was one of the few partners that was insulated from all of that because I was being treated way better than most other people who were under their umbrella. But now you've seen all the horror stories about Machinima, how people were locked in the contracts, they weren't being let out, they were being mistreated, you know, payment issues, all kinds of stuff. And for me, I never had any of that. Like, the most annoying thing about Machinima was I really needed to know how much money I was making on videos to pay John Rambo. And I couldn't do that because they wouldn't send me the data. You know, now YouTube Analytics exists. It didn't back then. That was like an ongoing annoying thing. They couldn't just simply send me data. But outside of that, everything was good, you know? And that's why I was with them for over 6 years. And everyone, wow, PewDiePie quit. Woody's Gamer Tag quit. This guy quit. That guy quit. There's another hit piece about Machinima. Man, Machinima really screwed up. They had a paid promotion. They didn't disclose it. The FTC suing them. Phil, why are you still with Machinima? Because I didn't see any of that. I never was affected by any of it. Literally, you know, for me, it wasn't an issue. I always had contacts. I always had a good time making money with Machinima. Even when they renegotiated my contracts, they usually were more than fair. We'll give you 100% revenue split. It's not a revenue split. You're just paying me everything. I don't even know why you still have me as a partner, right? It didn't make sense. So, for the most part, they treated me pretty well. But as a company, they were very unprofessional. They were very disorganized. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. It was obvious they were always running around like chickens with their heads cut off, trying to put out fires rather than being proactive. How do you contact one of your top YouTubers, one of your top partners, who's supposed to be a proponent of YouTube content, someone you want to see successful, and say, so what are you going to do when YouTube's done? What? Why are you even acting like YouTube's going to end? Shouldn't you be like, no, grow your business, maybe have more channels, do that? So when YouTube's all done, what do you want to be, an esports commentator? What are you talking about? That's what I mean, like the weirdest attitudes, you know? Anyway, you know, I hope that you guys enjoyed this very special event. It's, this one's interesting to me because this was a long-form react, mostly all about me and my experiences, right? 3 hours I just talked about all the times that I had with Machinima over the years. And I hope that this served to be informative and it served to be entertaining to you. And I hope that you had a good time. I did. It's good because now I finally got some of these stories out there. I got to show you some of the corroborating evidence of the things that I've been saying all along, all these years. And I can kind of put this to rest. Like, that chapter of my life has been long over, but now I've shown you everything about it. And I can say, Machinima, you know, it was a good time when I was with you, but man, you guys didn't know how to run a company to save your life. And man, did you have opportunity? How could you be at the top of your game? How could you be one of the top partnership networks and fail like you did? Because the management was absolutely terrible. As we know, if you watch the June the King documentary or the react I did on it today, that's also live on this channel, you'll see how bad they were at running their company, managing anything. They didn't know what the heck they were doing. I mean, what a joke. So now you look at it from the outside, you're like, okay, I kind of get it. But man, when you were on the inside and you were in my situation, you didn't see any of this stuff happening around you. To me, it was like, wow, hey, I'm getting paid, I'm making money, I'm having fun, you know, playing games. Why would I care about Machinima or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's that, man. So anyway, what did you think of this event? Let me know. First of all, thanks to everyone who was here live all day long. You guys were a great audience. People were quite quiet, but every once in a while asked pertinent questions. You guys supported the stream. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. For those watching on demand, what did you think of the event? Did you enjoy it? Please leave comments on this video. What do you think about the topics that were in this part 3? What do you think about overall my experience with Machinima? Again, did you have a different experience with Machinima than I did? How do you think they did handling things like this is how you don't play, or the incident, or copyright, or hey, my contract terminations, right? What do you think about all that? I would love to hear your side of the story, or your take on my side of the story, okay? So let me know. And by the way, if you enjoyed the project, let me know. Please like the video, and of course, let me know if you want to see more stuff like this in the future. I have a wealth of information. You know, I used to be in the competitive Street Fighter community. I could tell you lots of stories about that. You know, being a YouTuber as long as I have, I can tell you about the ups and downs of being a YouTuber, how the site operates, all that stuff. I have many stories to tell. If you guys are interested, maybe I'll tell them one day. So thanks for giving me your time today and watching the dark side of Machinima. Give me your feedback. And as always, stay safe. And thanks so very much for your attention. Everyone, please be safe, be fun, have fun. Hope you had fun watching this. And I'll see you soon in the future. All right, everyone? Thanks a lot. Peace out. See you all later.